day, Mom. I am Lovely Tinagan and I will be going to discuss our theme, title, and objectives. With the theme, Awareness and Reduction of Gender Bias Marginalizations in the Country, and the title of Addressing Gender Bias Marginalizations in Society. Our objectives is to first, to raise awareness about gender bias and marginalizations in society. Second is to identify the causes and effects of gender bias and marginalization. And then lastly is to explore strategies for addressing gender bias and marginalizations in different contexts such as education, employment, and politics.
Good day everybody, my name is Rimas Makaskas and I'm here to discuss about gender marginalization. Throughout in our society, some people have experienced some assumption and discrimination that lead people to see and understand them negatively, and it's also based on gender biases, primarily against women. But before we could even dive into the articles that I've discovered online about gender marginalization, let's talk more about gender marginalization in its context. So what is gender marginalization? It refers to the unfair and unequal treatment of individuals based on their gender, often leading to their exclusion or limited opportunities in various aspects of life such as education, employment, and social participation. The article named Evident, which tackles about the workplace gender discrimination, it states that women are less likely to get employed when they want to start their family while working in a job placement. Because when a woman gets pregnant, it's very hard for them to work smoothly. This is why some companies prefer men as it's more sustainable in a company. Another thing is that women in work placement gets paid less than men who are working in the same level of position. I think because men's efforts are more visible in a company and women are being degraded as low workers. Second article that I have found, which named Investing in Women, entitled Gender Equality in the Labor Market in the Philippines, it says that there are already policies and responses that the Philippines is doing to reduce this kind of gender marginalization in the workplace. The labor participation rate of women now stands at 29 percentage points, but not really equally level with men's labor participation, which stands higher than women. This gender marginalization really limits the woman to get employed, or to think that companies are foreseeing women as weak and don't have a positive contribution to the company is really delusional.
The article Gender Discrimination Causes Inequality Between Girls and Boys Around the World by Save the Children discusses how gender discrimination impacts millions of girls and boys worldwide, leading to inequality in education, income, and basic human rights. It emphasizes the importance of promoting gender equality to achieve a more prosperous and peaceful world. The article highlights that gender discrimination denies basic human rights like education, income equality to millions of girls and boys around the world. It explains that gender discrimination creates barriers for girls and boys, women and men, in recognizing, enjoying, or exercising their full and equal human rights. The article also points out that gender inequality is discrimination on the basis of sex or gender, causing one sex or gender to be routinely privileged or prioritized over another. It emphasizes that gender equality is a fundamental human right, and that right is violated by the gender-based discrimination. The article further emphasizes that gender disparity starts in childhood and it's currently limiting the lifelong potential of children around the world, disproportionately affecting girls. It also stresses that gender prejudice and resulting gender discrimination begin in childhood, affecting girls and boys from the moment they are born, and continue to impact them in their homes, schools, and communities. The article concludes by highlighting that investing in gender equality can have large-scale benefits, and that it is critical to directly address gender discrimination and gender inequality to ensure that no harm comes to children and to advance the vision for a more prosperous and peaceful world.
Gender marginalization in education has led to poverty and backwardness. In today's world, economic progress is only possible when men and women work side by side in unity to achieve that. Women constitute a large population in any society. By denying them education, determining the possibility of progress in all spheres of life being reduced drastically. Some women are not allowed to make use of their talents. That is why some countries as well have not been able to progress as compared as other countries. A study conducted on discrimination faced by women revealed that the birth of a boy was celebrated more than the birth of the girl, considered their daughter as a burden. Education of the girls in a family relied upon exposure of the guardian or family head. It became imperative that the head determine the gender education.
Hello everyone, I'm Mirano Francis. I will discuss this article from World Bank's blog. The name of the article is Overcoming Barriers, Women's Work in the Philippines. The article discusses the low level of female labor force participation in the Philippines. The article identifies the four barriers to women employment: skill, wage gap, care and responsibilities, and norms. The article also discusses the policy recommendation for increasing female labor force participation. These recommendations include providing alternatives to child care in-home, promoting flexibility work arrangement, and addressing gender social work.
Hi, good morning everyone. My name is Jessa Ampatan. The article of Indigenous Women and the Law, The Consciousness of Marginalized Women in the Philippines by Arnold G. Gabriel states that the poverty and lack of access to education are among the major reasons why Indigenous women have lagged behind others in terms of social consciousness. It also states there that despite of their underprivileged and marginalized status, women's consciousness regarding Violence Against Women and Their Children Act or Republic Act 9262 is comparable to that of mainstream group. Arnold G. Gabriel found that majority of the Magat women, the patriarchal tribe of the Philippines, is possess knowledge of Republic Act 9262. They understand the rights covered by the law and their entitlements. The majority are also capable of recognizing violation of these rights. This means that some indigenous women in the Philippines didn't have educational attainment, but it is not a hindrance to them to have knowledge in a law, and that education have a big role to them, that they are marginalized because of this aspect.
Good day everyone, my name is Marjorie P. Barday and I will discuss about the article Gender Bias, Women Digital Workers Face Lower Wages. The article on gender bias in the digital workforce highlights a concerning trend where women in digital roles face lower wages compared to their male counterparts. Despite advancements in the tech industry, this wage disparity underscores persistent challenges related to gender equality. The reasons behind this inequity may stem from various factors, including implicit biases, unequal career progression, opportunities, and systematic issues within the industry.
Good morning everyone, my name is Clark Inista and our topics is violence against women in the Philippines barriers to seeking support. Also vulnerable are women facing multiple and intersecting forms of discrimination such as transgender women, indigenous women with disabilities, poverty-stricken women, and internally displaced women. The additional barriers of stigma, discrimination, states neglect, and harassment from law enforcers contribute to their distrust. The system poverty and job insecurity aggravate the situation. Women research prostitution and online classes compound the risk of children sexual exploitation with increased internet exposure.
My name is Nina Espana and I will discuss about the article that I've been found entitled "The Filipino Woman Highly Biased Against Own Gender." So in this article, this is a belief that women apparently responsibility is to do the household chores, taking care of their partners and children and etc. So they're seen as primarily responsible for the unpaid care work in household, which deters them personally for seeking paid employment, which also deters companies from hiring women because they think that they're not going to be as dedicated or committed as male employees. While this is shared from norm all over the world, that the social view of women as primary bearers of homemaking rules is especially rooted and apparent in Filipino culture. However, it doesn't mean that women are relieved of the responsibility to seek and take of consented labor. And these aspects about men is that they are responsible to do work to feed their families, the one who gives support and to their families, the highest decision making, and the one who is responsible. So in this article, most of the perspective is that men is the highest when it comes on decision making, it is etc. And women apparently responsibility is to do the household chores, taking care of their partners and children and etc.
Gender marginalization is something that is not to be neglected in our society, especially when women are being degraded. Women can also show their dedication and commitment to their jobs, but sadly, in most of the articles that were presented, companies think skeptically about women's capabilities to work as hard as men and the right to be paid at the same amount, knowing that women also work out their very best with their jobs assigned to them. It's not humane to think that every privilege should be given to men and not for women.
The overall reflection to our articles is that the high prevalence of gender biases against women in the Philippines underscores the need for comprehensive and sustained efforts to challenge harmful to every social norms or culture. Men discrimination towards women and to let us promote gender equality in every sector of every norms. This effort should involve policy interventions, education, and advocacy to create a more inclusive and equitable environment.
My insights about gender marginalization is about media representations often stereotypical contribute to skewed societal norms, reinforcing biased expectation. In healthcare, gender bias affects treatment with women's pain, sometimes dismissed, and mental health overlooked. Discriminatory legal frameworks and societal norms further entrench gender-based limitation, impacting areas like marriage and family roles. Recognizing the intersection of gender bias is essential as these issues intertwined with other forms of discrimination, creating unique challenges for individuals with multiple marginalized identity. Addressing gender marginalization necessitates concerted efforts to challenge stereotypes, promote equal opportunities, advocate the policy changes, and foster inclusive environments. Thank you.
My reflection on this article, the article highlights the importance of addressing the barriers to women employment in the Philippines by increasing female labor force participation. The Philippines can achieve the greater economic growth and prosperity. The article also emphasizes needs for a multiple-pronged approach to addressing these barriers. Policy and programs should focus on providing child care support, promoting flexibility work arrangement, and changing gender social norms. Overall, the article provides variable overview of the issue of women labor force in Philippines. It's called action for the government and other stakeholders to take up steps to address this issue and create more equitable society.
Good day everyone, my name is Marjorie P. Barday and I will discuss about the article Gender Bias, Women Digital Workers Face Lower Wages. The article on gender bias in the digital workforce highlights a concerning trend where women in digital roles face lower wages compared to their male counterparts. Despite advancements in the tech industry, this wage disparity underscores persistent challenges related to gender equality. The reasons behind this inequity may stem from various factors, including implicit biases, unequal career progression, opportunities, and systematic issues within the industry.
Gender marginalization in the Philippines is a complex issue influenced by societal structure, cultural norms, and historical context, and disproportionately affecting women and other gender minorities. The Philippines is working to combat gender marginalization through community-based initiatives, educational campaigns, and legislative reforms aiming to empower women, promote gender inequality, and ensure inclusivity.
So, my reflection about the article that I've been found is it's concerning when biases exist within a group, such as Filipino women being biased against their own gender. Addressing these biases is crucial for fostering a more inclusive and supportive community, encouraging open dialogue and promoting awareness about the impact of internal biases can be key steps toward positive change. The existence of biases among Filipino women against their own gender is a complex issue that warrants thoughtful reflection. It may stem from various factors such as societal expectation, cultural norms, and internalized stereotypes. Recognizing and challenging these biases is essential for fostering solidarity and empowerment within the community. Open conversations, educations, and promoting a more exclusive mindset that can be contribute breaking down these barriers and creating a more supportive environment for a Filipino woman.